Okay, today is March 16th, 2020 for the regular council meeting at 6 p.m. for the Village of Stryker. Tonight we are honored to have Mr. Rosebrock leading us in prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, we need to remind ourselves of the many blessings you have provided us in the Stryker community. Our community has traditionally shown to be very supportive and a very supportive and giving community. The current situation will provide additional opportunity as this virus affects people both locally and across the globe. Our leaders in every sector, both public and private, are faced with unique circumstances that require difficult decisions. Our prayer this evening is that you continue to support us with your Holy Spirit as we travel forward down this path. The current events are leading us into uncharted waters, and it will be important that we work closely together to find solutions to these challenges. We ask all these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, who paid the ultimate price to forgive our sins. Amen.
And tonight for the pledge, Mr. Josh Clemens, an Army and an Air Force Reserve veteran.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you both for coming. Appreciate it. And tonight filling in for Beth is Emily. So roll call.
Armstrong.
Yeah.
Cameron. Yes. Benner.
Yes.
Levin.
Yes.
Ingram.
Here.
Tompkins. Yes.
Citizens. Katie, you are our solicitor, is the one citizen we have in our room tonight. Did you have anything that you want to put out at this time?
No,
All right.
nothing.
That leads us into the prior minutes for regular minutes of 2/17 of 20. Is there a motion to accept?
Make a motion to accept the minutes of 2/17/20.
And is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any additions or corrections before vote? Okay, roll call.
Cameron.
Yes.
Benner.
Yes.
Levin.
Yes.
Ingram.
Yes.
Tompkins. Yes. Armstrong.
Yes. Leads us into the finance report of 3/13 of 2020. Is there a motion to accept? Okay. And a second?
I'll second.
And as I said earlier, since Beth is not here, Emily has kind of stepped in. Is there any questions that Emily can ask or answer on behalf of Beth? Did anyone see anything in there that they had questions on? Okay. Emily, the stand-in?
Yeah. Okay, our revenue was over our expenses for this past month, roughly $60,000. I did just want to point out that almost $42,000 of that was due to property taxes coming in, which we only get twice a year. So it does look really inflated, but again, it was just the property taxes that came in. And income tax collections are up about $14,000 or 22% from last year. People are filing earlier, which is nice, and we have been getting quite a bit of money from the collections that we sent to the Attorney General and from Jeff Lincoln. So,
Okay. Did that spur any questions from council for Emily? And then roll call.
Benner,
Yes.
Levin,
Yes.
Ingram,
Yes.
Tompkins. Yes. Armstrong,
Yes.
Cameron.
Yes.
Leads us into communications. Did any council member have communications? I have one here, and obviously with the virus that's going around right now and the uncertainty and the fluid decisions that are being made at the state and federal level, there is a Maumee Valley Regional Transportation Improvement Program. They're having a meeting on March 31st. Again, depending on what's happening at the state and federal, there is a possibility that may get adjusted, I would assume. I don't have firsthand knowledge of that, but it is potential, but that is here, that, if you're interested, it's up here for you to look at. Committee reports, the judiciary. That would be Mr. Rex.
We had a judiciary meeting on June 24th at 9 o'clock. Present was members, myself, Sean, Mayor Beck, Katie, Beth, Alan, Dave, and Vicky. Vicky discussed her concerns over the village ordinance regarding of dispensaries where to locate within the village, as well as other federal controlled substance such as hemp and CBD oil. She noted CBD oil for sale signage seems to be placed everywhere and other entities, and she thinks it is a little out of hand. Solicitor Katie Rake said, unfortunately, when the state of Ohio passed legislation regarding the sale of hemp and CBD oil, there was no programs included in that to allow villages to exempt the product. So the village cannot pass legislation outlawing. She explained the only course of action would be to look at the sign ordinance and maybe limit the number of signs that can be placed on one property. After discussion, the committee decided that Solicitor Katie Riggs will review the village sign ordinance and bring some legislative actions back. Mrs. Riggs said that she will also review the village ordinance in regards to marijuana and dispensaries to make sure that the village is in good compliance with the new state ordinance. Submitted by Rex Brothers.
Is there any questions for Rex or the committee on the discussion there that we have? Okay. Let's make a motion to accept those minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Okay,
Second.
and roll call.
Levens,
Yes.
Ingram,
Yes.
Tompkins. Yes. Armstrong.
Yes.
Cameron.
Yes.
Bender.
Yes.
The next one is the Finance Committee minutes from 3/2 of 2020.
Obviously, 3/2/20, their finance committee meeting. Members present were myself, Mr. Benner, and Cameron. Those present was Beth Rader, Joe Beck, Sean, village administrator, and police chief Slusher. Fiscal Officer Rediger gave an overview of 2019 financial notes. The committee discussed the current water rates, and there has been no increase since 2013. Fiscal Officer Rediger presented a comparison sheet on Stryker's utility rates compared to other villages and noted that the water base is low, base rate is low. She suggested council look at increasing the base rate per bill in January of 2021, as this money is allocated towards equipment, repairs, and operating. Village Administrator Reedsecker noted that all the costs associated with water operating, such as meters, testing, repair clamps, lines, and chlorine, have increased at least 15%, but the village has not increased rates to match, so carryover balances are being used to pay this. Rediger suggests that the village increase the base rate from $6.35 to $10, which would cover the yearly increased operating expenses. Rediger would like the village solicitor Katie Rakes to prepare an ordinance for 3 readings. The committee then discussed future budget items such as police radios and a new police vehicle. Chief Slusher said he believes the county will be switching to the Marks radio system by the end of the year, and his department will need at least 3 mobile radios and 4 handhelds. The mobile radios are $3,000 apiece. He's not sure of the cost of the handheld. Each handheld does have a $10 to $15 a month user fee, but this can be covered by a police grant. The purchase of a new police vehicle was discussed at length, with the committee suggesting the department look into purchasing an SUV next year. Chief Slusher stated he and his officers are comfortable driving the Chargers, and they have the total police platform available, but he will check other vehicles out if that's truly the council's desire. Fiscal Officer Rediger suggested the village produce a packet of information to advertise or market the village-owned south property. Something that can be distributed to future developers through WEDCO. Also, she is checking into the steps necessary to get the property listed on the Ohio Site Selection website. Councilmember Cameron said that her daughter is a graphic arts student and may be able to help with the design of the packet. Rediger noted the current 3-year land lease is up at the end of this year, so council can decide to extend the lease for farming or advertise for sealed bids, as we've done in the past. Or just leave the land vacant. Lastly, Rediger and Reitzecker noted that the ARS trash and recycling 3-year contract is also up in October. They both suggested that the committee invite Michelle Ryder of IRS to come to a finance meeting and discuss renewal or extension options. With no further business, the committee adjourned. Respectfully submitted by me.
Any questions for Lee?
Thank you.
Well, I don't know if it's specifically for Lee, it's a question
the
about
group?
something that's on here.
Okay.
Because it says that Beth suggested that we increase the base rate from $6.35 to $10. Now, that's like 57% increase. That seems like a lot for us to increase. And I know that it says that there was a 15% that we've had increased to the village, but from 15% to 57%, that's a lot.
It was, what was it, $3 for the month?
Yeah.
Three
I
and some
mean, yeah, when
change?
you look at it that way, it doesn't seem like a lot, but, I mean, it will affect the rest of your, it's gonna affect the rest of your water bill, I think, as well, too, as your, consumption is.
It's
more.
not with the consumption. It is just a base rate, it's a flat fee.
Well, I personally still think it's a lot to increase over, I mean, for 15% is what we've seen the increase to go to a 57%, that seems like a lot to me to put on there.
It's a lot smaller percentage of the total bill, though, it's not nowhere near 57% of the total.
Well, right, that's true.
And we also looked at all of the other communities around us, and we are way low of all of those. So it's just kind of bringing that
But
up a
is-
little.
I mean, that's fine as far as that part goes, but how about the rest of our, like, say, sewer, other things that.
That's included in the
That
sheet.
figure into
Yeah,
that, I
that's all
didn't see
lower.
that
You
sheet,
didn't put that
but,
in your packet?
no.
That was during that.
Yeah, that was during that meeting,
Finance
so I
committee.
didn't see that, but,
The, and right now, it was discussion because that portion is not in the black. We're running at a slight deficit there.
Okay.
And I don't remember how many years it was, 2013, so we're sitting
Yeah.
7 years, and we're not looking until 20. I mean, it's,
Yeah, I
we
mean,
could have
I
slowly increased over
Yeah.
the years, but it hasn't, we just have not, and been absorbing some of those costs. And that's what it is. We're not looking to really increase that and push that fund, but we're looking to at least not lose money.
Basically, that figure that she came up with would put us right where we need to be to cover our expenses. We can't keep using carryover funds if we're gonna.
Well, right, I
We'll be in trouble.
understand that.
And there's going to be, with that, once we start putting things together, there's gonna be 3 readings of that, there's gonna be adjustments at each one. So, yep, we will gladly give you any of that information that is out there, as well as I'm sure there's going to be some more discussion with that through the finance. We can get you a copy of that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Any other questions on
Yes, sir,
the
Mr.
finance
Mayor.
committee?
I have 2
Okay.
questions for the committee. I was wanting to make that meeting, but I couldn't make it, but anyhow, on the grants for the handheld, does that be like a one-time fee or extended?
I'm gonna have to pass it
1 or 2
over to
years?
someone that has more knowledge of the grants. I know there's some out there, Do you
You
know?
have to reapply every year,
Okay.
but I'm not saying that we've been guaranteed that we're gonna get these grants, but they are available, and you do have to reapply.
I wasn't
Per
sure
year.
how that worked.
And it's actually $10 per unit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the current is 10 per unit,
Yeah.
and there's some talk, and that's why it was kind of put in there, is there's rumors. I mean, everything goes up,
Yeah.
nothing goes down.
All right.
And that was a number that was kind of thrown out there in some of the discussion that I heard. I don't know if you had heard that $15, but currently, Chief is correct, it's at $10.
Okay. I didn't know that grant
And that's-
part, if it was like, say, a large amount, and it was good for up to 4 years, or,
No, it's an annual,
okay.
you have to reapply annually.
And that is per unit. So if we have 3 handhelds, and I don't want it to seem like it's a large amount, even though it does add up, but if you have 3 handhelds, that's 10 for each of them, and then whatever else we have. But the thing that I don't want to do, and I don't think any of you guys want to do, is cut us short, where, boy, I wish we had another radio. At $10 a month,
Yeah.
it is not worth that, to cut us too short. We need to give these guys the items that they need.
I don't know it's early yet, but we're not there yet on those radios, but I would imagine it would come under some kind of warranty if it breaks or whatever.
I would have to assume so, yes.
With the ones that Chief was looking at purchasing compared to, there's some potential we can get some.
Possibly some
Second
free
hand
radios
stuff.
from the state, yes.
I would say with those from the state, there's probably
You get
not
what
a
you get.
warranty. They may have been dropped a few times. I
Yeah.
mean, they've been through the,
Water damage or whatever.
yeah, they've been through their cycle at the state level. Does that help us? The answer is yes, because radios aren't cheap. But there's a potential of doing that, and whether we do 3 of them that way, whether we do 1 or none, we're gonna look to Chief for that advice there.
Okay. All right, answering my question on that. And I'd like to put this out here for the ARS, for the contract that comes up. I would suggest, I would like to see it on the recyclable part of it. I would like to see it every other week, if possible.
Yeah.
That was one of the items that was discussed,
Yeah.
and it seemed like it was split. To be honest with you, it seemed like there was pros and cons on both sides.
I know sometimes it seems like from week 1 to week 3, it was a long period of time, and, you know, that second week, you got your recyclable bin full, and you have no other place to put your stuff, so.
The biggest negative is, that means 3 times a year you switch from first and third to second and fourth, and then it switches back to first and third and people forget. That's the biggest negative to doing it that way.
So,
Unless you just do a 1, 3, and 5, and there's only a couple months that
Yeah,
have
we
the
talked
5th
about
week
that,
in
too.
it too.
yeah.
I always wait for my wife to tell me if I'm supposed to set out the recycling or not, but.
I was thinking.
Which I think that's why Beth wanted Michelle to come and talk to you guys at a finance meeting, so you could discuss what all you guys want, and then talk.
There's also gonna be more cost than that.
Yeah.
There's some cost. And with the ARS, looked at the large trash, and we also talked about the compost out here as well, some of that. But I'm sure with that person coming in, the rep from there, we're looking to do that fairly early, before it just sneaks up on us.
Yeah.
So,
That's all.
yeah, that'll be a great discussion point when she gets here or he gets here. Any other questions for the committee? Great, okay.
Okay, in regards to, the police vehicle, it sounds like, it was discussed at length about a possible SUV versus something similar to what they currently have, the Charger. And I was just wondering, what the rationale was for an SUV versus, because to me, it seems like the SUV would be a higher expense, for a small village, obviously. I don't think we're out, I mean, I know we go out on additional calls to other spots as we need them, but it seems like most of us are on surface streets where most of our patrolling is done. Can anybody shed any light on that for me?
Anyone want to jump in? I can, or if you guys, either way.
It was talked about one of the police cars that was spinning during the winter time, and maybe the SUV would be something better during the winter time for us.
Well, given what we've had the last couple winters, it doesn't seem like that. I mean, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I mean, we've had some mild winters, and not to say that we won't have a gangbuster winter sometime, but
It was more the versatility of it, the size, roominess for the officers.
Some looked at it with that, I was looking at it from the four-wheel drive standpoint. Chief is looking at it from what they're comfortable with and what we currently have. There's great arguments on both sides, and the decision isn't final at this time, so there's going to be more discussion on it. And that would be great for you to come up and
yeah.
share some of
Oh,
those.
I mean, did any type of cost as far as like what we currently have versus an upgrade? I think an SUV is an upgrade, obviously, like what that cost difference would be.
Upgrade is, depends on
Well,
what side
I
of the
mean,
fence you are. Some
okay,
people
well-
think it is, some don't. There's pluses and minuses to both. Is the SUV currently slightly higher? The answer is yes. It is a little bit more. Is it more versatile in one sense? The answer is yes. Is it less in another sense? Sure. So we have to look at what we think is the most versatile across the board. And there's going to be more discussion with that.
Okay.
And would love to have you come up for that discussion,
Yeah.
because we like that point of view as well.
I think that was all of my
Okay.
questions then.
And I was just gonna say Cheyenne will do the flyer or whatever that we need, and as soon as Beth gets back, they're gonna get together so they can do something.
Okay.
So there won't be any
Awesome.
charge to the city for that, she's just gonna donate her time into it.
Oh, neat. Okay.
We like free.
And we do.
Okay. Any further questions before we vote? Roll call?
I need a motion first.
Did we do the motion?
I don't know
Okay.
for that one.
You did.
Did we?
Okay. I need a motion to accept the minutes of the Finance Committee of 3/2/2020.
I'll make a motion to accept the finance committee minutes.
I'll accept, second.
Okay. Now roll call. Thank you, Emily.
Ingram,
Yes.
Tompkins,
Yes.
Armstrong,
Yes.
Cameron,
Yes.
Benner,
Yes.
Levin.
Yes.
Update on the old business, we're into old business update on the village website. I don't know that we have the photographer here tonight.
I can
I stand corrected, we have a substitute, stand-in with the photographer and camera. So if you're available to have your picture taken, that would be
Got your hair?
wonderful. That way we can get that village website updated with some pictures. And if you don't have your short bio in there as a new council member, I'm sure that's not there, or us old timers.
I stand rebuked, I will get it in.
Mine is, well, I don't know if anyone has them in, but if you need to update yours, me included, probably number one, we can get that done as well. I may need some help on that, Emily. Legislation, did not have any. Village officials, Chief Slusher.
I thought Al goes first.
You want Al to go first? All right.
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. The guys put up the new signs today on the north and the west entrances into town.
And they look great, by the way.
Did-
I drove right
see 'em?
past them. What time did they go up?
This morning.
Oh, Lord.
But the blue ones?
Yeah.
Why?
The south one.
I didn't either.
The south one, posts are ordered, and he's gonna have to go in the field to drill holes, so that's all weather permitting on that one. So-
Okay.
And that, hopefully that'll be within the next few weeks, so we'll see what happens. And like you mentioned about a compost dumpster, that will be arriving April 1st for compost, clean up leaves, whatever compost that the residents have. It'll be out behind the village hall. And asking that only compost is in it, not wood, tree branches, that kind of thing, or
Okay.
trash. And that's about all I have,
When was the mall trash?
May 9th.
And that is on the village website. There are flyers up there, and I will put it on next month's bills.
Okay. Anything for our village administrator at this time? All right, thank you, sir. Chief?
All right, we'll just go, really didn't have a whole lot, you know, to run my mouth about, you know, on the first page. 58 complaints, 9 traffic warnings, 1 citation, 3 adult arrests from our last meeting. Any questions on just that? So, there's been some concern, obviously, with this pandemic that's going around. As far as where I stand with my officers in dealing with the citizens, you know, there's some different philosophies out there. I know that some departments, they are going to only emergencies, handling only emergency calls face to face. They're trying to do things by telephone. We're not gonna jump into that type of hysteria, and I think that's exactly what that is leading to. We are business as usual. We will go to one's home and meet with them in person. When we take this oath of office, when we get into this career, we know the substantial risk, and there are inherent risks that are involved with this job, and that's kind of what we do. We put ourselves at the tip of the spear, and you know, if it is some type of medic call or anything like that, our dispatchers are now asking a lot more questions in relation to their health. So obviously, we're going to have a lot more information that they're, if it is correct, that they're giving to our dispatchers, that they're passing on to us. And we'll make that determination, you know, when and if we need to. But I guess it's in my opinion that, you know, we should, when I say we, this department has to be the light in the darkness. You know, we are the peacekeepers. We are there, you know, for the citizens. Reciprocates, obviously. People need to honestly just take a calm, collective breath and not get so friggin' crazy, you know, over all this stuff. And you know, and we're going to be there for whoever and whenever we need to be. So,
Any questions for Chief on that? And with the 3 full-time officers we have, they've probably had more shots in their arm because of the military background than they probably can count.
Concussion.
So thank you for that. And it was a question that I posed to Chief before the meeting, and I talked to some of the other departments as well about some of the concerns. Obviously, we're not the experts on it. We do have others that are well above us that get paid probably pretty decent money to have an idea what they're talking about. And then when it comes down to our level at this village, and Chief said that 911 is going to be asking more questions. That's a protection as well. But I do appreciate you making a comment about, you know, service is normal,
right.
as usual. Aware, yes.
Yeah.
So.
Obviously, it's very fluid. I'm sure things will change. But
It seems like it's changing every few minutes at times. So it's extremely fluid. So I appreciate that for what you and your officers do out there. Anything else for Chief? Okay, that's going to lead us into the other. I will start on my right-hand side with Mr. Armstrong. Okay?
No,
I have nothing.
Okay.
Will this be our last meeting for a while?
The
Was tweeting for that one.
I was too. As of right now, I believe President Trump put out there that looking at the number of 10 is a number, I think at the state level at 50 right now.
I think so.
I think it's still at the
It
50.
dropped.
Did it drop to, what did the state drop it to?
10.
Okay, that one I did not know. I know there was a
We
suggestion.
were talking to the governor before I came up to the meeting.
Okay.
He just found out from Trump, so he didn't know.
There's some potential, I need to get with our solicitor, I think there's a way that we can do things that we haven't been able to do before as far as with council meetings, with some streaming and some call-ins, that came out yesterday.
I'll have to take a look at it.
But there's some possibility of some things that we can do. Are we within the 6-foot rule? Right now, the answer is, we're in that bubble. I think we're all within 6 feet. So we'll look at that. I know that there was a suggestion around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, from President Trump talking about the 10. I don't know that it was a mandate. I think it was a suggestion. I was trying to find it before I came up. I did not know DeWine had put something out. So that is being monitored as well. But that's a potential. There's definitely some concerns of what may happen down the road. Right now, I gotta rely on the experts and kind of listen to them. But they have given us a way to hold meetings.
As long as that stays up. They're already having some crashing issues and a lot of lag, so.
Okay.
We've got a lot of people, a lot of college kids, a lot of high school kids, a lot of, just everybody is working from home. Internet is overloaded, yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully it stays
So
up.
that's what happened at work today for me.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's definitely some changes, whether kids go back to school or not, that's not our call.
For 70-degree day, we'll hear more about it.
Correct. That's probably true. So, yeah, if you have something that you see, I'm seeing it from my side where, I'm seeing a lot of it through the school district, where I'm getting those updates and we're glued to the TV at times or the news conferences. I'll watch it on the TV as well as the computer to see which one is faster, and then I'll go to that one first. So that's how much we're paying attention to it there. But there is a potential with that, Rex. Great question. Anything else? Okay. 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 I'm gonna come back this way. I have nothing. Okay. See? Okay, again, with that virus out there, it's definitely fluid. The offices here will be as normal. There are a few questions that I have for Katie after this, but as far as the operations within the village, we are basically holding to what we normally do, but also being aware of the surroundings as well. So I appreciate you guys coming up. Again, we may do some adjustments with some future meetings and move from there, but that will all get put out. That leaves a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you.